My perception has been that throughout the Jewish world you find people who are leading communities who are powerful and committed and very generous, but whose attitude to Torah is not positive. In other words, they've never had real exposure to what Torah really is, and the leadership of many Jewish communities around the world is in the hands of people like that. And I felt we needed to try to give them that added dimension to their leadership, portfolio, if you like, or agenda. And I think the realistic way to do that is to actually get people when they're young, who are obviously potential leaders, and try to give them that input.
Well, the concept was to take people that we feel have tremendous potential in Jewish leadership, can have an impact on the Jewish future, and to give them a really transformative experience, a combination of the just incredible experience of the African bush and the wildlife, and just to see the beauty and the incredible complexity and the amazing world, God's world. That's number one. And to combine that with in-depth Torah study, to combine that with in-depth understanding of Jewish philosophy, to introductions to Talmud, but in a very, very intellectually profound and challenging way. And through both of those experiences together, plus of course the dynamic of the group and meeting other people of your own caliber and with similar interests, is something which I think is transformative and a very inspiring experience.
Well, I've been involved with college students for about 3 years all over Illinois, and I've been very impressed with students in general, but I was looking for students that I felt had shown some initiative.
On the one hand, I was looking for someone who had exhibited already in the course of our programs that we have locally at the University of Pennsylvania, someone who had exhibited an understanding, an ability to grasp the ideas, who didn't have or who had worked through any antagonistic feelings towards Torah Judaism, towards traditional understandings, even if they themselves were still in a state of flux, so to speak, on their own religiosity, or hadn't come to definite conclusions about their beliefs and what is going to be the foundation of their philosophies, their personal philosophies, but had exhibited an understanding and an openness and a willingness to engage and to involve themselves in Jewish thought and Jewish study. That's Aleph. Beis is someone who has a certain ability to socially navigate themselves well, which shows a certain stamina, a certain sensitivity, a certain leadership quality, which is fundamental. So these are people who fit those categories. People I have a relationship with as well, that I've had conversations with, I've discussed, that I know would be able to take an opportunity like this on their own, with their own tools, with their own volition, and to turn into something hopefully very permanent, very remarkable.
Well, we decided that we would take a group of educators, myself and Rabbi Becha, Rabbi Lynn and Rabbi Cohn, Rabbi Gilbert from South Africa, and we would expose people to as much pure Torah learning as we could. We decided not to include the usual leadership sort of skills, group dynamics and public speaking. That they can get elsewhere, they can do that later. We wanted to give them what they're least likely to encounter in their student careers, which is genuine, honest, as deep as possible exposure to Torah. And so we constructed the classes around the fundamentals of Jewish knowledge and belief, and we threw in a serious component of actual learning, Gemara learning and exposure to Gemara, experience to actually try it themselves, and some classes on, some deep analyses of Jewish learning topics.
The topics have been across the spectrum. We've had talks on free will. What are the limitations of free will? What does that mean in Judaism? We've had an in-depth discussion on the Talmud and what the meaning of the Talmud is, or what the history of rabbinic Judaism is and why it's so important. We just this morning listened to a talk about agency, and another example of Jewish law. We might have a talk on medical ethics or on prayer. But it's more than the classes itself, it's also the interaction with the students. They get chances to talk amongst each other, they ask questions informally of the rabbis and each other.
There are different types of approaches in Jewish education. Some audiences need to be spoon-fed, and some people need a kick in the rear, and some people need to be pushed and challenged. I'd like to think that we've handpicked a group of people who we can trust and respect to take the information seriously, to consider the implications of the information, of their Judaism, and where their potential lies in becoming the link to the next generation. I think that it's fair to say that I can trust the caliber of the student. I'd like to trust the caliber of the student to do with that information, to do well with it, and to take it very seriously. And so in that regard, I think the program's been an unbelievable success.
You know, I can't even begin to overestimate the importance of a trip like this. You know, I've been working, as I said, with college students, and there are thousands of Jewish students who are very disconnected from their Jewish heritage. And we try, and we do get a lot of students involved, but we can't reach everyone. Many students we won't reach because they're just not interested. But these are students that have got initiative, they've got charisma and personality, and they're creative. They can reach students we can never reach. So I've got high hopes that every single one of these students is going to go back, reach out to, you know, a small group, a bigger group of students that also could learn more about their Jewish heritage.
Exceeded them. It has exceeded the expectations. I've been to South Africa before. I've never been to Kruger, and that experience has been something which is, for me, just been absolutely incredible. Totally exceeded what I expected. Seeing animals in their natural habitat is totally different than seeing them in the zoo or anywhere else. And also it's been an amazing experience in terms of the guys. The participants have exceeded my expectations as well. It's been a humbling experience having time with guys who are just so bright, so talented, so enthusiastic. It's absolutely phenomenal.
And my bracha is that, you know, in years to come, they will use this experience to continue to be a source of enthusiasm and encouragement, that they can be ambassadors for the Jewish people.
Well, message for the participants. You've tasted a little bit of what Torah study really is, and you have seen some tremendous wonders of God's world. And when you have experiences like that, it obligates you. Noblesse oblige, so to speak. Right? You've merited. You've had a tremendous gift, and you've got to take that gift, develop yourself, and through developing yourself, develop the world, develop Judaism, and really make an impact on the rest of the world.
The message, I think, is that I would urge them to use this as a nucleus of an experience, to take the learning more seriously. You know, I don't need to give them a message of becoming leaders or doing the best they can in their professions. You know, these are the kind of people who I think will manifest those things automatically. My message to them would be to seriously consider you know, a genuine exposure to Jewish learning. Those who can take off some time and go to yeshiva and do it thoroughly and become self-maintaining, self-generating, competent in their learning. It'd be a tragedy if they don't do that. Those who don't immediately have that opportunity need to plug into a learning program somewhere where they're going back. You know, be it part-time, be it weekends, be it nights, whatever it is, and actually specifically aim for self-sufficiency and competence in learning, that they shouldn't be spectators listening to other people present Torah material. They should get to a level where they can handle text themselves and become, you know, self-generating, self-maintaining learners.